What should churches do right now as far as regathering? Where is faith involved? Where is presumption involved? Where is wisdom involved? What about pushing back against the government? So I've got some articles here. Department of Justice. So Bill Barr, Department of Justice, warning that California church closures may violate religious freedoms in a letter to Gavin Newsom. And the Department of Justice is pushing back in state after state saying, you are discriminating. You are discriminating against churches. You say, well, what's the discrimination here? Well, there is a phase 2 reopening of businesses and other services. A church is not included in that. And then there is a phase 3, and they're included in phase 3. I've spoken at length to a pastor, a colleague in California, who sent me all the requirements, the onerous demands of what has to happen to have services and do things this way, that way, etc. So it's good that there's pushback because there has been discrimination in certain ways, and there has been overreach from the government and even overkill in terms of, maybe that's the wrong word, overkill, but going too far in terms of you can't do this, have to do this, etc. All right, so that's number one. Now, here's another headline. Just grabbing this here. 2 southern churches forced to reclose after congregants get coronavirus. This is churches in Georgia and Texas. They opened up their doors. They did social distancing and things like that. Now, several people have come down. A number have come down with the virus, and one has died. A leader has died. And okay, what do you do with that? All right, how do you sort that out? And then go through all the details there. Word about a controversial Christian leader in Cameroon laid hands on numbers of people with the virus, pronounced them healed. Now he has died of the virus himself. And other people he prayed for wondering, well, what about them? Now, I understand that when you pray for the sick, you can really feel, I believe. Have you ever done that? Prayed for someone's healing and really believed they were healed and they weren't? You really thought you believed they were healed and they weren't? Have you ever even told someone, I believe God's healed you? Many of us have made mistakes like that in our zeal. You're praying for something else. You really think it's going to happen. You're confident, and I believe it, and then it doesn't happen. Okay, I'm not condemning this pastor for this. I don't know his heart. I don't know his life. I don't know if he really felt he was acting in faith and risking his life to pray for people. I don't know if he was acting in presumption. That's between him and God. I make no judgment of it. But it comes back to questions for us. This is now several leaders that I know about, that I've read about, that said, we're going on with our services. It doesn't matter. God's bigger than this, or God can protect us, or God can keep us. And they are now dead of the virus. And I know in other cases, people say, what are these restrictions for? They're crazy, and everything's being exaggerated, and the media is exaggerating, and the health experts can't get things right. It's a very difficult situation because, number one, we want to honor God and walk in faith. Number two, we want to love our neighbor and not carry a disease to them. Number three, there is overreach in certain places by the government, and we don't want our essential liberties restricted. Number four, there are larger questions just in terms of economy and getting back to work, and that affects us in many ways. So all I can say is this. Number one, don't be reactionary. Well, the government, okay, maybe the government, your local government is going too far. Maybe there's something harsh here. Don't react in the flesh. Step back and get God's mind. And in city after city, Liberty Council, Alliance Defending Freedom, even the Department of Justice, they're pushing back against the overreach of local governments, all right? So don't be reactionary, but if you need to take a stand, then do it righteously, do it prayerfully. That's one. Two is don't experiment with faith, all right? Don't try out your faith. Look, it's one thing if you say, I really believe Jesus healed me and I don't need my glasses anymore. Okay, well, then you'll be able to see. But you don't get in your car and drive without your glasses to test your healing. No, if you can see, you can see. Well, I'm going to go off my insulin because I believe I'm healed of diabetes. If you're healed of diabetes, a doctor will verify that for you, and then you won't need the insulin, all right? So the point is you don't want to experiment with faith. And if, as a pastor, you're confident before God with a good track record that you're acting wisely and safely, then even though there can still be restrictions with social distancing and things, do your best to act with wisdom for the sake of your community and your neighborhood. Remembering you're not going to know everyone that comes in the door. You're not going to know the medical condition of everyone that comes in the door. Again, my own normal reaction is just go ahead, hold services, get 10 million people in the building, and just trust God. I mean, that's my normal faith reaction, but then you have wisdom with that. So push back in a righteous way against government overreach. Don't try to experiment with your faith. If you do feel it's right to go on with meetings, just do them with wisdom for the sake of your community, for the sake of your neighbors. And I trust the Lord will honor and bless as you do that.